Now we're going to talk about delivery. We're going to do a case study. I'm going to bring up two speakers. Come on up stage, guys. On the Scion, a car aimed at younger buyers. It's the first new brand from Toyota since the debut of the Lexus in 1989. Simon Needham is the co-founder and executive creative director of Attack. He was born in Northern England and began his career when he and James Somerville launched Attack Design Studio in 1986. Today, Attack is a renowned global creative agency with many offices globally. Creative billings are over 30 million annually. Now he is based here in San Francisco area. Simon serves as the firm's executive creative director and as creative director for the award-winning Scion account, the first ever successful launch of a new car brand targeted specifically to young adults. With Simon is Owen Peacock. He's the Scion National Marketing and Communications Manager at Toyota. For the past 2 years, Owen has been the Scion National Marketing and Communication Manager, responsible for all of the marketing and communication programs for Scion, a line of vehicles from Toyota Motor Sales in the US. His duties for Scion include advertising, media, interactive digital, social media, sales promotion, lifestyle marketing, racing, and auto shows. I want to do the racing. I wonder if he gets to race cars. Welcome, gentlemen. I look forward to hearing your talk.
All right, thanks, Laura. In the context of delivery, so the proper way to say it is Scion and Attic. So with that, let's get started. My name's Owen with Scion. This is my partner in crime today, Simon Needham from Attic.
Thanks.
So let's talk about Scion.com and the revolution. Before we get into it too deep, I'm going to set it up for you and explain a little bit of background about Scion and where we come from and what our mission in life is. So basically, we're a small automotive brand. There's about 20 individuals that operate out of a former warehouse on the Toyota campus. This is down at Toyota's national headquarters in Torrance, California, so that's also our national headquarters. And we are a small, nimble automotive brand. And if you look at the context of all the other automotive worlds out there, there is a lot of bureaucracy involved in their decision making, and it takes a long time for them to get basically just about anything done. So for us, we're very, very fortunate. We don't have a lot of hierarchy, we don't have a lot of bureaucracy, and we do stay nimble to adjust to a youth market. So why was Scion created in the first place? Basically, right around 1996, 1997, Toyota had a problem on their hands. We had grown up with baby boomers. Baby boomers bought a ton of our cars. But unfortunately, just like everybody, baby boomers get older. So we kept selling to baby boomers, and what happened is our median age actually crossed over the industry's median age right around that 96, 97 timeframe. So that presented a big challenge to Toyota of how do we get more youth looking at the Toyota brand as a whole. We had tried some different products, we had tried some different marketing, but nothing really seemed to stick. So from there, it was decided that we needed to start our own youth initiative, our own youth brand, to bring in a younger, different buyer into Scion. So the die was cast, the brand was started, and it had these three main objectives. Number one was to capture a different buyer. Again, these were younger people who wouldn't necessarily consider primarily a Toyota vehicle or Toyota product. The second one was Scion needed to operate as a laboratory for experimentation for the greater Toyota umbrella as a whole. Basically, you can take a chance with Scion, and if it doesn't work out, okay, you're going to cut a check to cover that expense. You take that same risk on the volume and scope of Toyota, that's going to be a much bigger check that you have to cut. Lastly, we've got supporting the Toyota brand. So we're supporting it because we're a lab. We're trying new marketing, we're trying new product, we're trying even new selling processes for cars, and we can transfer those learnings over to Toyota, so we're going to support them in that regard. But ultimately, we want to take these Scion owners, these Scion customers, and they've come in, they didn't want a Toyota, they opted to get a Scion. Now can we transition them when their lifestyle changes or when their lifestyle changes, stage changes, over to a Toyota or Lexus product? So those are really the three main objectives for Scion. So with that, I'll let Simon give you a little download on Attic. Just click it to the right.
All right. Hello. My name's Simon Needham. I'm a co-founder of a company called Attic. We started in '86, and we've been working with a broad range of brands, mainly focused on youth marketing. And basically, over the last 25, 26 years, we've been helping out an enormous amount of companies communicate with young people. This is a couple of examples of the types of people we work with. Coca-Cola is one of our big clients. We recently just did the World Cup, which was sort of everything you can imagine across the board in regards to communicating the World Cup to a global audience, but all ultimately targeting a young audience. Adidas, Boost Mobile, and we even did the Super Bowl 44. So we've been working with quite a broad range of clients. More recently, about 10 years ago, we met Scion, and we started working with some of their digital work as well as doing all their advertising. Unfortunately, at that point, we weren't able to do Scion.com, so we were just doing the sideline digital work. Things like pop-up digital books. We were doing augmented reality. We even did a 6-part TV show online, which proved pretty successful, and of course, games and fun stuff like that. Thanks.
So to give you guys another insight into what Scion's all about, our marketing approach is unbundled. So we do not have an overall agency of record. Simon and his team with Attic have been our creative agency of record since day one, so they've been with us all the way. But we don't have all of our vendors basically under one roof. We do that for a number of reasons. Number one, it allows us, again, to be nimble, opportunities for a lot of creativity to come into the door when you have multiple vendors working for you, and it can actually keep costs down by being unbundled. Now that's the pro column. Now let's switch over to the con column. It is intense project management for my team because we don't have one conduit filtering everything out and communicating everything out. That actually is done by the role of my team. So when you don't have good communication, when you don't have good organization, what starts to happen is you get uncohesive executions happening. Your marketing activations no longer align either with the brand itself or maybe even the campaign or that particular model. And so it can get a bit hairy, a bit out of control if you don't have a lot of tight controls on that system. So again, unbundled is where we really have operated from. So Scion.com, basically every single bit of our marketing drives you to this destination. What you're seeing up there is the original Scion.com. This is the site in 2003. This is back when the brand was brand new. We wanted people to take time, go through our website, discover the brand, discover the site. And let's say 10 years ago, people, young Gen Y, maybe had 30 minutes to spend discovering a site. Times start to change. This right here talking about time, this was the last iteration, not the new Scion.com, the last iteration of Scion.com, and this was the load screen. You may realistically have watched this screen load for up to 30 seconds. It was built-in flash, it was super video intensive, it was just an extremely heavy site. So you went and made your cup of coffee, you came back, and now the homepage is finally up. So you check out the homepage, and you're like, okay, can you turn up the lights? That was black cars on a black background in a dark warehouse in a dark alley, and hey, doesn't this make you exciting and want to buy a car? Not really. So you get to here, and you're like, okay, you got 4 cars. What ones are they? There was no really demarcation of each model. There was no real branding up here, and what happened is because it was built in Flash, it was extremely cumbersome to adapt to an existing campaign or an existing model launch. Once you get into the site, now you're met with a ton of information all at once, but it really wasn't built all that intuitively. I'm looking at a model, I'm looking at the colors of that model, I'm looking at the accessories that come with that. All of this is done in about 8-point white font on a black background. Pretty tough to convince someone to delve further into the brand at that point. And as we progress through Scion.com and over the course of 10 years, we've gone from Gen Yers having 30 minutes or 3 hours to spend shopping for a car down to about 30 seconds. Because they need their information and they need it fast. So what did all of this get us? It got us the dubious distinction of taking dead last by a mile on the J.D. Power Automotive Manufacturer Website Award, or lack of award. So if we were gunning for last place, we killed them. It was at that moment where we decided to break our own rule and basically go from unbundled for this execution into bundling, and we couldn't think of a better partner than the people who were making all of our creative, doing our majority of our campaigns, and who had digital and online experience than Attic. So with that, I'll have Simon run you through some of the new stuff we're doing, talking about this particular case. This is just an extension on a lot of platforms we're doing for IQ in the digital space.
So, of course, when you're talking about viral marketing, we've got to do something a little bit more edgy than we would do on mainstream advertising on billboards and so on. So although I was going to talk about another case study, we thought it'd be nice to show you guys something that's not actually been released yet. It comes out on April the 2nd. And we did 4 movies, we did 4 little films that sort of promote the turning radius and the fact that the new Scion IQ, which is a tiny little car about the same size as a smart car, holds 4 people. So with that, I'm just going to show you a little film and see what you guys think.
Cops and donuts and milk.
You ready, boys?
Sorry.
Okay, so obviously that was one of 4. I did want to show you the top left one, but nobody else had let me do that, so I don't know why. So there was that one, and then what you're going to see now is how Owen's going to talk about how we're able to connect our viral marketing and our mainline marketing into the web. And this is another spot that I was hoping to show you today, but I think we're a little short of time, so obviously it's a campaign for a release series, what we call a release series, which is a one-off unique product. We got Zeus to market this product for us, and we obviously went through a whole thing of tablet advertising, microsites, and behind-the-scenes videos of Zeus while he's shooting his commercial. But you will see how this connects in a short while to the Scion.com.
All right, so imagine the old site that we had, and also we come out with the Zeus campaign, and then you go to the site and you're seeing the black warehouse with the black cars, and you're like, where's Zeus? Where's the yellow? What's going on? Where's the comedy in it? But the new site allows us to do this. So now you go onto Scion.com and you see what we call our marquee. So this is right on the home page. Boom, you've got our car there. The campaign's all about our release series vehicle. And then at the very bottom, you can see 3 windows right there. Those all link out to where we can either run promotions or other videos, and that middle one actually links out to our YouTube channel to show you all the behind-the-scenes vignettes that we did for Zeus. So imagine for IQ, when you get to the IQ marquee, where you see down there in the bottom left is Park. Those are the vignettes that we have going right now. If you haven't checked them out, check it out. And then what will happen is on April 2nd, in the middle where you see the words, our code is simple, which promotes our military campaign, that'll swap out and you'll see Play Donuts. So just from this one destination on the homepage, all of the marketing campaign can be brought into it, whatever that execution is. Now at the top of that screen, there's 2 teal buttons. Just underneath there, you see 3 rectangles. Those are actually timers. So each of these marquees scrolls on about a 5-second loop. So if you'd been on the site a total of 15 seconds, you'd have seen Zeus for the first 5, IQ for the second 5, and then this third one, you'd have seen the entire Scion lineup, or our Meet the Family marquee. One key to the new Scion.com was it had to be scalable. We did all new architecture. This just wasn't a redesign. This was a completely brand new site. And it needed to be flexible and scalable. And this is a perfect testament. When we started this project with Scion, or with Attic, we only had 3 models. Now fast forward 12 months later, and all of a sudden the lineup's grown by 40%. So now you have to add in all those model pages. So it has to be scalable to meet our company's needs when it comes to model lineup. Ease and simplicity is what we're really going for with this site. So now you've clicked on IQ. On this one page on IQ, you've got pricing information, you got miles per gallon, you got vehicle features. You can go back and see any awards that we've won. And this is all with just a hover or a click. Before, you would have taken 3 to 5 clicks just to get to this point, and at still no point in time would you have all this information on the screen at one point. Now, if you had gone to the old site, as crazy as this sounds, and you said, hey, I heard there's one of the Scion models has a Boxer engine. Don't worry if you don't know what that means, but you heard it has a Boxer engine. Now with the new site, you can actually search. So is that crazy and new and different for a website? No, but for us with Scion.com, the old site didn't have it. Something as basic as that was not making it simple and easy for our consumers to get the information they wanted. The other piece was nothing was shareable. There was no social media aspect to the old Scion.com. Now, this is important for being a youth brand if you want to properly represent yourself as a youth brand, but think about this. Car buying. You're going to go and you're going to get financing or cut a check for, let's say, $20,000 for this product. We're marketing to Gen Y. Here's your stat of the day. 74% of Gen Y automotive purchases require a cosigner to make that happen. We'd all love to think that 100% of them's got awesome credit and enough time on the job and enough time in the residence to qualify for that type of a loan, but the reality is 3 out of 4 of them need a parent or a guardian to help cosign on this deal. So we wanted all the information on Scion.com to be easily sendable to this person of, let's say, either an elderly disposition or just has good credit to help them get this deal done. We needed them to be able to forward that to that person in whatever channel they wanted to as far as the communication standpoint. The other thing we wanted to take advantage of was the work that these guys do is awesomely beautiful, and we needed to take this to what we call a full bleed. Use the entire canvas of the screen to show off the product. Car purchasing is very emotional, and we can really pay that off with visuals. So whether you're showing the dashboard, I mean, we can even make a taillight look sexy at this point. So now as we get into one of the other mantras of Scion, it's about customization and personalization. Our cars all start off monospec. Monospec means they all come one way. You pick your color, you pick your transmission, and you add to the menu from there, piece by piece, item by item. There's no packages you have to buy. So accessorization is really key to us. Our accessories section, you click on accessories, you've got great thumbnails up there with price right below, so a lot of information. You click on that window, boom, you're going full bleed, you get a really nice shot of your accessory. All right, so the site is built in HTML5 and CSS3. This makes the load time extremely quick. It makes the browsing experience really swift for the user, and it really helps with our SEO applications out there. The other beautiful thing about the way we built it is it's tablet and touch friendly. The old site was built in Flash, not exactly friendly to all the tablets out there. 10% of all of our traffic so far into the new Scion.com is coming from tablets. So while that's great today, if we think 90 days ago, that's a little scary. What was happening to 10%, right? That's a pretty big number for us. Where were all these people going? What was their user experience like? They're shopping for a car. If they get rejected right out of the gate, we probably just lost them from a consideration standpoint. The other thing the site allows us to do is when we want to scale up and bring in new content, bring in new sections, the nav menu on the left-hand side is easily expandable. For us, we can just add in another line. So for us, we highlight Scion Lifestyle. Our lifestyle marketing is one of those pieces that can set us apart from the other automotive brands. So we bring you into Scion Lifestyle, one click. You can connect with owners or find out more information if you are an owner. You want to experience ScionAV.com, which is our AV outlet for all of our artist, music, and film executions. You can check that out. Our motorsports racing that we were talking about earlier is over on the right-hand side. So all of our motorsports activities are there. And then down in the bottom there is our Scion app. So we developed, I think at this point, we've got about 7 apps out there to encourage further engagement with our consumer. Again, Scion.com becomes the one-stop shop for all of this. So we've talked about making it more cohesive with our marketing. We covered that box. We made it a lot faster using HTML5. We covered that box. We gave you information right up front in a simple and easy to use format. We checked that box. But at the end of the day, for us as a car brand, we want 2 actions to come out of all of this. The first one is build your Scion. We want you to take that next step and start configuring your car, because when you actually start adding things to a car you're interested in, you take a bit more mental ownership and engagement with that vehicle. We've got you just maybe one more step into the purchase funnel. The other thing is find a dealer. Ultimately, our job exists to drive customers to our dealerships, whether it be physically, they're actually putting their foot on the dealer's pavement or walking in the door, or virtually, they're sending them an email, a text, or some other digital communication, ideally submitting a qualified lead to that dealer. So with that said, how are we doing on those two metrics? Basically, from Build Your Scion, we took a two-pronged approach. We built an app to help people configure their cars on their mobile devices, and then with the Scion.com launch, with those two teal buttons at the top, is a real call to action, and we're using that call to action all throughout the experience for the consumer. So as you can see there, the response has been great, the results have been great, but I think the real telling graph up here is this one, the Find a Dealer metric. Once we launch this, you can see that that line is not vertical, but it's getting really, really close, and it continues to grow at a rate like this. So for us, from a definition of success, is the site delivering? So far, so good, knock on wood. We're about, what, 90 days in almost? So far, we're pretty happy. So I'm up here talking, Simon's up here talking. You've listened to us ramble on for about, I don't know, 22 minutes now. What is all the point of this? Where's this revolution you were talking about? This is the end goal. Scion wants to be the first automotive brand to sell cars online through our dealer network. And all of the marketing, I talked about this, all the marketing takes you to Scion.com. And if you're going to buy it online, your starting destination is going to be Scion.com. So if you're asking a customer to take a 20,000 digital step with you down this path, you had better make sure where they put their foot is really firm and going to give them a very big shot of confidence when they first get there. And that's why Scion.com has been so important for us to start this online revolution. Now, think about this. That's not where the revolution ends. The revolution really, in my mind, starts to take on a whole new meaning and a whole bunch of momentum. If we can transfer what we learn, and if we're able to do this and transfer that to Toyota, now with the volume and scope that Toyota operates, them being able to sell cars online to the consumer through the dealer network, and basically having it all done at your home. Don't spend 8 hours at a dealership shopping. Spend 7 hours at your house building, configuring, getting approved for credit. And the hour you go to the dealer is to take delivery of your new car, not to go back and forth with the salesperson, if I could, would you? Let me go ask my manager, and getting all of that stuff out of the way. And this is really what we feel is the start of the revolution. So thanks for your time. You guys got any questions for Simon or myself?
Good job, man.
Hi, Nathan James, Fishbone Marketing. So with that ultimate goal of people buying online, what do the dealers feel about that? Because, you know, that whole process of going back and forth with the dealers, how they make their money.
Yeah, ultimately, the end deliverable is all through the dealer still. Now, what we want to do, though, is give the consumer the option of, do you want to go to the dealership and pick up your car? Or do you want the dealer to deliver the car to your house? And giving everyone as many options as possible so they can do business how they want to do business. But the end game is it's still always going to be partnering with the dealer. Our job is just to get that down further down the funnel and make those sales closing ratios higher.
Hi. On a little bit different tack, when you talk about measurement, is the find a dealer, is that the key metric of how you're determining whether your media push is successful or not?
Yeah, we'll measure media and advertising. You know, we got recall. We can see how much points we get delivered on a certain buy. But this is probably the most frustrating piece about the automotive industry is you can't, at this point, unless they do it all online, you can't track that customer all the way through the sales process and say, cool, it took me $7,892 to get them all the way through and buy a car. We don't have that because we lose contact at the point where the consumer walks usually into the dealer's showroom or on the dealer's lot. I would love to say that every single dealer tracks every single one of you the minute you walk on the lot and they know exactly how many people came in that day, but that's just not reality. So that is the one caveat that we have of this. If we can get you all the way online, then we can get a lot better metrics out of cost per sale.
Question.
Is in terms of test drive, do you find actually, I mean, I'd be surprised that somebody would actually spend $20,000 on a car without actually having test driven it. Do you show that the youth are willing to just sign up, get delivery, and actually never sit in the car, touch it, feel it, drive and spend that kind of money?
No. At the end of the day, it's 20,000 bucks. You're going to want to go and kick the tires, do a test drive, and see it. What we're investigating, though, is where do you do the test drive? Is it at the dealership? Do you want the dealer to bring the car to your house for a 24-hour test drive? Is a test drive for us partnering with a car-sharing service, so now your test drive is really 24 hours? Test drive is always going to be an integral part of the car buying experience, so we don't think, unless someone really has 20,000 and they're not 100% caring of that quality of purchase, they're going to have to test drive that car to really make sure it's what they want.
Do you skew, does a Scion, thank you for teaching me to pronounce it, I'm twice the age of your demographic
That's all
target,
right.
so I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Does your Scion skew women or men? What's the breakdown of sales?
Right now, we skew a little bit more male, about 55% overall,
Okay.
but I would say that's going to be on parity, 50-50 over the long haul here. We are the youngest automotive brand in the industry. Our median age will hover somewhere around 32 to 35 years old. TC is the youngest at 28. But for an automotive company these days, women are becoming more and more important because, number one, they tend to have higher college education, which is going to lead to higher incomes, and they don't want to do a real pressure-intense automotive buying experience. So I forgot to mention this part because it is key to the Scion model, is we have what's called pure price. No haggle, no hassle. What you see is what you pay. It's like a menu. If you go in and order a new IQ for $16,000, your neighbor's going to pay $16,000 as well. So it's a very low-pressure sales environment that we provide, so we can see that really being appealing to the female audience as well. All right, thanks.
Thank you.